Hello, welcome to this HR system tutorial by Eneza Telecoms. I'm going to take you through leave application. As you can see, I'm already logged into the system. So once logged in, you'll just click on HR and payroll on the left side of the screen right here. And the first page that appears will be the dashboard. You look out at the options laid at the top. You click on leaves because what we want to do is apply for a leave. So we click on it. Once clicked on leave, you come to the right hand side of the screen at the middle and click on add new. Once clicked on add new, then it brings you this new page where you're going to input details of the leave you want to apply for. So we are going to note that a supervisor or the HR is able to input a new leave for an employee, and equally an employee can apply for a leave for themselves through the system. So either way, it can work. So in this case, we can go ahead to input a new leave. So you come to the department part, click on it and get to choose a department, depending on which employee is applying for their leave and which department you're in. So let's work with the HR department, and then we go to the employee part, choose the employee. So we can choose to go with the mtenda wema. Then we come down here on the status of the leave. We click and see the options available. There's requested, scheduled, active, taken, and rejected. So in this case, since it's a new leave we are requesting for, we are going to have the status as requested. In an instance where the leave had already been taken earlier, the employee went for the leave, then we can say that it was already taken. This is in the case where the HR is inputting the leave into the system which had already been taken before. So you're going to click on taken. If the employee is already actively on their leave at the time when the HR is inputting it into the system, then they can choose the status as active. And if it's for the future, then we can click on the status as scheduled. So in this case, let's go with requested. So any of these options you get to choose in accordance with the circumstances of that particular leave. So let's work with requested for now, and then we come to the right hand side and indicate the type of leave that is being requested for. So the types of leaves that are already listed here are the ones that have been made active in the organization, depending on the kind of leaves that the organization normally gives. So in this case, we will choose annual leave. We will assume it's an annual leave we are applying for. Let's click on it. Once we choose that, we get down here and indicate the date. So there's the part for the start date on when the leave is supposed to start. So we can say it's supposed to start on 19th. And the end date part, we also have to fill it in. So depending on how long the leave is supposed to take, then you indicate accordingly. So in this case, we can choose to make it a 1.5 day leave. So in that case, we choose date 20th as the end date. We click on 20th of August. And because remember we said we want to make it a 1.5 day, then there's this part here for partial days. If it was a 2-day leave for both 19th and 20th, 2 full days, then under partial days here would leave it at none. But since we want to make it a 1.5 leave day, we just click on the options laid there, and we are going to assume that it's the start date or the start day that is going to be partial. Okay, so we click on the start day, and here you can choose accordingly. Probably it's 20th that you want it as a half day, so you get to choose accordingly depending on the circumstances. For this case here, let's go with the start day, which is 19th. You can see it brings us a new option for the duration. So we indicate that it's a half day that we want, and the session which is being taken for that half day on the 19th. So we can assume our leave is going to start on the 19th of August in the afternoon all the way to 20th of August. Let's click on afternoon. Once we click on afternoon, we continue moving downwards, and please remember that any part that is marked with a red star, then it means that it's mandatory for you to fill that particular field. And anywhere that is not marked with the red star, like here under the comments, then it means it's not necessary for you to fill in that particular field, but should you wish to indicate anything, then you're free to do that. In this case, we will leave it blank, and then we move down to the delegation part, where you get to choose the employee whom you're going to delegate your work to. So you choose the department under which the employee is in. So since the employee taking this particular leave is Mtenda Wema, and they're in the HR department, then we will assume they're delegating their work to someone who is equally in a HR department. But please note, it's also possible to delegate to a person who's in a different department, depending on the kind of work that is supposed to be handled. So let's get to choose on HR department, and then we move to the delegated employee. We click on that. It gives us the options for the employees and the HR department. And since Mtenda Wema is the one going for the leave, then we assume that he's delegating his work to Joe. Once clicked on that, we come down here to the comment part. So under the comment part, as you can see, it's mandatory for you to fill in this particular field. So you have to write something, any comment concerning the delegation. So in this case, maybe we can say that Joe is going to handle all inquiries that come into the office. So you can indicate that under the comment section, all inquiries. And once you've done that, you just come up and confirm if you have filled in all the details that are required for your leave before you save it. And before we choose to save our leave, we can see on the right hand side, there's this part here, which is quite important for the employee at all times, because it's going to show them the number of leave days that they have. Okay, and even when they don't have any more leave days, then it's going to indicate 0 on the available number of days. So that part is meant for that. Let's go ahead and save our leave that we have just applied for. We move to the very bottom and click on save. As you can see, we have successfully added our leave. That was Mtenda Wema, and he was going for 1.5 days. So let's try and look for that in our list. Here it is. Mtenda Wema, HR department. The start date of the leave was 19th to 20th, and the number of leave days is 1.5 leave days. So should you wish to see the details of this particular leave, you just click on the eye icon, and it shows you all the details as it had been applied for. So that is it about leave application. That's how we get to apply for our leaves. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please check out for our other video tutorials, and don't forget to subscribe.